Hello everyone, welcome to Diego Knows. I'm Diego, and today we are going to talk about the Hawkeye miniseries on Disney Plus that dropped the other day. Hawkeye is a comic book superhero, as you all know, and I am a huge comic book fan, have been my whole life. So when they announced they were going to create a Hawkeye TV show, I was pretty excited about it because Hawkeye's always been my favorite Avenger. Not my favorite superhero, but he's my favorite Avenger. Okay, I really liked Hawkeye, especially liked him on the in the Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes cartoon. You know, he was always the trash talking guy. Hawkeye's always been my favorite Avenger because Hawkeye has an attitude. Okay, out of all the Avengers, he's the one that's got something to prove. Okay, he has no powers. Okay, he has no powers, no super strength, no superhuman senses, no healing ability. Okay, no genius level intellect. He's got none of that shit. Okay, what Hawkeye has is one skill. Okay, when he shoots that arrow, he doesn't miss, and he spent his whole life training himself to do that. Okay, he wasn't born with it. He wasn't super soldiered up. He wasn't bitten by a radioactive archer. Okay, he trained himself to do that. Okay, he turned himself into that by sheer force of will, determination, and hard work. Okay, so right there, he's got that mindset that I can do anything. Now a guy like that in the real world would be super exceptional. I mean, he'd have his own TV show, he'd have a reality show or something, where people would pay to see him, like they do, like magicians, like David Copperfield or something. They would pay to see him. I remember in the Buffalo Bills Wild West show back in the 1800s. I mean, they had a woman like Annie Oakley who never missed with her gun or the pistol. People paid from all over the world. People would go see her because she was the real deal. Like, she could shoot and not miss. And that's what would happen with someone like him in the real world, in this world. Okay, but he lives in a world full of superheroes. Okay, so you've got the Hulk and Captain America and Spider-Man. You got all these characters that just put Hawkeye to shame. Who cares that you can shoot arrows? Okay, when you've got like a thunder god on your team. Okay, when you've got something like the Incredible Hulk on your team. Okay, when you got someone who's 100 years old like Captain America on your team. It makes shooting arrows kind of like dumb. So he is constantly having to justify his position on the team. He constantly has to prove himself that he's worthy of being on the team, and he is worthy of being on the team. His teammates love him; they like him. He's a valuable asset. But I don't think that he really sees himself as valuable. Like, he needs that. He needs to prove it to himself. He has to constantly validate himself on the team. He needs to show the others that he's worth having around. That's a lot of pressure. None of the other Avengers have that pressure. Black Widow doesn't have that pressure. You know, the other non-superpowered heroes on the team don't have that pressure. He's got the pressure. He has to deal with that. So he's really good at what he does, but he's surrounded by people that are superhumanly good at what they do, and so he's got he feels that he has a lot to catch up to. So I love that about the character, and he is definitely the guy to do that too. What I really love about Hawkeye is when I read the comic books. When I read him mostly on the West Coast Avengers, and I read some of the old stuff from the '60s. Hawkeye was always talking trash to Captain America. Okay, Hawkeye started off as a villain. He wasn't evil though, but he was in love with the Black Widow, and the Black Widow was a Russian spy back then, back in the '60s. She was an evil Russian spy. She was trying to sabotage Stark Industries. She was trying to kill Tony Stark, seduce Tony Stark, and steal his secrets and have him killed. And so she's a Russian KGB agent, very Boris and Natasha. Her name is Natasha, so it's apt. So Hawkeye, decided, he saw Iron Man work and decided, hey, you know what? With my skills as an archer, I can be a superhero too. So he created the costume identity of Hawkeye. And on his first day of fighting crime, he gets framed for a burglary. The cops think he stole some jewels, and actually he was trying to catch the guys that stole the jewels. Anyway, the cops are chasing him. He gets scared. The Black Widow shows up. She says, hey, come with me. And he sees how beautiful she is. Oh yeah, I'll follow you anywhere. Total simp. And he follows her, and they become a team. And she, he's so in love with her, that he I'll do whatever you say, sweetheart. You want me to break the law? I'll break the law. You want me to kill Iron Man? I will kill Iron Man for you. You want me to, steal something? I will steal it for you. And and it kind of shows his vulnerability there. Like, oh my God, this guy's such a tough badass. But you put a pretty face in front of him. He's like, whatever you say, sweetheart. He becomes a total, simp, beta male. So that happens. So he joins Natasha, the Black Widow, and she's evil. Well, not evil, but she's working for the bad guys, the KGB. And Iron Man defeats them. He gets away. Something always happens. Like Hawkeye almost actually beats Iron Man a couple of times, but then Black Widow gets hurt, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna save her," and he lets Iron Man go so he can focus on saving Black Widow. That happens several times, and then finally he believes that she's dead, and he goes off in hiding or something. When they form a new team of Avengers later on in the comic book, Iron Man sponsors Hawkeye for membership. He gives Hawkeye a second chance. He's like, you know what? I don't think you're an evil person. You have an incredible skill set. I don't think you're an evil person. I just think that you were led down the wrong path, and I'm giving you the opportunity to go down a different path. So he vouched for him, and I think that there's not many times in Clint Barton, that's Hawkeye's real name, in Clint's life where anyone really vouched for him, that anyone really trusted him. And so he decided to take this opportunity and become a hero. But he's still kind of a jerk, So he would always talk trash to Captain America. I love that in the comic books in the '60s. Like he was there with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver and Captain America. That was it. That was the Avengers. Very not a very super powered team. All the Avengers quit. So so at that time, it was the new Avengers, and Captain America was the leader, and Clint Barton would always talk trash to him. He would always talk back to him. He would always question his authority. He would always threaten to quit. He would always try to say, "No, I can lead the Avengers better than you can," And he would always make fun of Captain America. I mean, Captain America, he's got a good temper, but eventually he'd be like, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna kick your ass. You keep talking to me this way, And he would always threaten Captain America. He's like, "You're nothing. You're just an old man, Your super soldier serum is nothing against my arrows." I didn't get my abilities from a bottle, and he's a badass, I mean, yeah, he got defeated, he got defeated plenty of times, he wasn't the strongest person on the team, I remember Power Man took him out real quick, I remember a lot of villains had taken him out, but he was always there when the team needed him, when the chips were down, and damn it, they just needed someone to hit back. The bad guy, dude, he would be there, in a heartbeat. He would go through whatever he had to do to win that battle. He was committed. He was a true believer all the way. He believed in the Avengers. He believed that they were doing the right thing, and he believed in his team. He believed in each other, and he believed that he could make a difference. And no matter how bad things got with him, he got injured. He was injured so bad that he actually lost his hearing in one ear. He was deaf. In the comics, yeah, he had a handicap like Daredevil. Yeah, he had a handicap. He was deaf. He had to wear a hearing aid. Like I said, he's not superhuman. His bones break. You shoot him, he'll die. You can knock him out. He's not invulnerable. And and he knew that. He knew that, but he still gave it his best. He still did what he could to help win the day. He did what he could to win the battle. And sometimes he got put in a position of leadership, and he rose up to the occasion. He was afraid of being a leader, but once he started doing it, he felt confident that he could do it some more. He knew that if someone took out Captain America, he could lead the Avengers. He knew he could, and Captain America knew that he could. Everybody knew he could. In the comic books later in the '80s, he got his own team of the Avengers, the West Coast Avengers. He led that team. So I liked Hawkeye. He always talked trash. He would stand up to anybody. Hercules, Thor, the Hulk. He would talk shit to any of them. And if any of them got in his face, he got right in their face too, to the point where it was ridiculous. I remember, Hercules. There's an issue of the Thunderbolts I read in the '90s where Hawkeye was leading the Thunderbolts, which is a team of villains that decided they want to be good. So he decided he was going to lead them because guess what? He used to be a villain and he became good. So Hercules had a grudge against one of the members, Atlas. Atlas used to be a villain called Goliath. Power Man or Smuggler, whatever, and he was a good guy. But Hercules, there was a time in the '80s where Power Man and a bunch of other super-powered villains beat Hercules into a coma. I mean, they took advantage of him when he was drunk, and they all just dogpiled him. And these are all superhuman characters, and they just beat Hercules into a coma. He's a god. He's the Olympian. He's the actual Hercules. Okay, this guy can take blows from the Hulk. But all these superpowered beings, super strength beings, just beat the crap out of him and put him in the hospital. He almost died. He got a little bit of brain damage from it. Hercules did. Okay. Well, Goliath, who now was a superhero named Atlas, was one of those guys. And Hercules came back for revenge. You know, he's, I'm going to take you out for what you did to me. And so Atlas changes into his giant form. They start fighting, and Hercules is kicking his ass because Atlas is trying to apologize. I'm not like that anymore. I shouldn't have done it. It was wrong. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Hercules is like, I ain't forgiving you. I'm going to kill you for what you did to me, for what you and your friends did to me. And boom, and Hawkeye was a leader now of the Thunderbolts, and he stood right up to Hercules. He said, "That's enough. Leave my teammate alone." And Hercules is like, what? Whoa. Why are you taking their side? They're villains. Okay, you're an Avenger like me. You need to be on my side here. He's like, no, and if you touch him again, you're going to have to fight me. Okay, now Hercules is class 100 strength. That means he can fight the Hulk. He can fight Superman. He can fight Thor. He has fought these characters. Okay? That's how powerful Hercules is. And then and right in front of him is Hawkeye, who has got no powers. Saying, like, if you hurt him, you're going to have to deal with me. And Hercules was just like, But because of the respect that he had for Hawkeye, he backed down. He's like, all right. And he left. He left Atlas, that's the kind of respect that Hawkeye has from an Olympian god. Olympian god will back down in front of Hawkeye if he has to. That's the kind of character that Hawkeye is. That's the kind of respect that he earned. Remember, no powers. No genius IQ, no super soldier serum, no spider webs, no super strength, no enchanted hammer, no iron suit. That's just him being him, So I always like that. Like, he will talk shit to anybody. He's not afraid. He'll do what he thinks. He has the courage to do what he thinks is right. And with no, with no reservations for that, and no superpowers. It's just sheer force of will. I like that about him. I liked him in the Avengers. In the Avengers movies, played by Jeremy Renner. I liked his character. I mean, he was wasted in the first Avengers movie. Come on, he got turned evil right away. But he got some redemption in Age of Ultron. He got more to do. I love that line. He's like, hey, look, those are robots out there, and I got a bow and arrow. No, that doesn't make sense. I love that. I love that line. And then they reveal that he had a family. Now, he didn't have a family in the comic book. Now, in the Ultimate Universe, which is a variant of the Marvel Universe, in an alternate reality, in the comic books, in an alternate reality, not the main comic book continuity, but in the Ultimate Universe, Hawkeye did have a family. He had a wife and he had 2 kids. And that's the universe where Nick Fury was Samuel L. Jackson, which later became reality. Okay, but in that alternate universe, that Hawkeye did. And in that universe, Black Widow ended up being evil, and she actually wiped out his whole family, killed his whole family, left him alive to get information out of him, which was her biggest mistake. Because when Hawkeye was being tortured by her evil conspirators, he used his hands to pull off his own fingernails while he was strapped to a chair. He used his hands to pull off his own fingernails, and he flicked his fingernails at his torturers with such precision, like bullseye precision, and got them right where he needed them to go. And he killed everyone in the whole room. Left one guy alive, and he had one fingernail left. He's like, you free me right now, or you're going to join them. And of course, the Doctor freed him, That's the kind of badass that Hawkeye is. All right. So so I love Hawkeye. Hope I established that. Okay. So anyway, so now down to the show. Jeremy Renner's there. Obviously, this is after the events of Endgame, and he's there with his family, his daughter, his 2 sons, and they're watching the musical, and we're introduced to Kate Bishop, okay, who's going to be the new Hawkeye. I've seen her in the comic books before. I haven't really read anything about it. I didn't read the Matt Fraction miniseries, or the Matt Fraction series that he did. I haven't read that yet. I'm going to read it now because I'm interested in it. But I heard it was very good. But I understand the character of Kate Bishop. She's got no powers. I like that. I like that she's got no powers. And she trained, Hawkeye trained her to be an archer. I like that as well. From what I know about her, I think it's a good idea. I've always said this before, like, if you want to gender swap a superhero, or race swap a superhero or something like that, you've got to do something with that superhero, the original superhero first, okay? Like for Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, okay? I absolutely fucking hate that movie. I absolutely hate that movie, okay? Now I'm the biggest Spider-Man fan in the world. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, okay? I absolutely hate Into the Spider-Man because that's not Spider-Man, okay? It's not Spider-Man. I can prove it to you. You know why? Because if I tell you who's Spider-Man, who do you think of? You think of Peter Parker. You don't think of Miles Morales. In fact, nobody calls him Spider-Man. They call him Miles Morales. You know why? Because he's not fucking Spider-Man. Okay? You can't have 2 Spider-Men and both be called Spider-Man. There's only one Spider-Man. If you want me to believe that this Miles Morales is Spider-Man, then you got to do something with Peter Parker. You got to retire him or kill him, and do it the right way. Have him pass the mantle. Have him train this kid to be his replacement. He doesn't have to know it's going to be his replacement. Maybe he doesn't know he's going to die or something, you know? Or maybe he doesn't know he's going to get wounded and can't be Spider-Man anymore, or whatever. Whatever the reason is, write a good story out of it, okay? Pass the mantle on officially. Get rid of Peter Parker. You get rid of Peter Parker, send him off into the sunset with Mary Jane to raise her kid, or kill him off if you have to. That would break my heart, but hey, if you write a good story out of it, then it's worth it. Then you can tell me that Miles Morales is Spider-Man. But until then, there's not two Spider-Man out there. Okay? There's only one. Peter Parker. There is no Miles Morales. But anyway, the point is that if you're going to replace Hawkeye with this girl, Kate Bishop, you got to do something with Hawkeye. You got to retire him or you got to kill him. Okay? You got to do something with him. Okay? Because he can't be Hawkeye and then have this girl running around with his name being Hawkeye as well. Okay? She has not earned that title yet. He's got to pass it down to her. That's the right way to do it. He's got to train her, which is good. He's doing that. Then pass the mantle down, and then he can retire, go raise his family, and she can take up the mantle of Hawkeye. And she can be the new Hawkeye, and I will accept it. If she earns it. But she's got to earn it. So anyways, we got this Kate Bishop. One thing that's bothering me about this girl is obviously she has no friends. She's very socially awkward. And she's super filthy, stinking rich. I mean, like super rich. In the very beginning scene when we meet her, she uses her bow and arrow. She destroys a bell on her university and it destroys the whole building as well, you know. And she's looking at her, oops, sorry, I hope God opened it. And she loves to talk to herself. Okay, she talks to herself all the goddamn time. Don't like that. I don't like characters that talk to themselves because they're trying to make her quirky. Now, I don't know anything about Haley Steinfeld. Okay, I saw Bumblebee. I thought she was good in that. I thought she was very good in that. But I never watched that Nickelodeon or Disney Channel show that she was on. I never fucking watched that shit, okay? I'm too old for that shit, all right? But it seems to me that she thinks she's on a Disney Channel show again, okay? Because she's acting like she's on a Disney Channel show, all right? Even though she's 22 years old. She's acting like she's on Disney, you know? The quirkiness, you know? Like the sitcom expressions, okay, you know, like the shitty rom-com expressions, you know, like an episode of Friends. You know, she's doing that. And she's talking to herself. I don't like that. Okay, the opening credits establishes that she's an award-winning gymnast, an award-winning fencer, an award-winning archer. You know, that she's very, very good, award-winning martial artist. So she's basically a Mary Sue. So I'm thinking like, okay, so this girl can already do everything. Before I even meet her, she can already do everything. She's already got medals upon medals upon medals. Okay, on all the stuff that she can do with no powers. Okay. And she's acting all quirky and like insecure, like she's trying to impress some girls. That's why she gets in trouble, you know? So I didn't like that. And then we find out that she's super rich, okay? And her mom, by Vera Farmiga, plays her mom, Eleanor, chastises her. She's like, hey, the school called me. They told me what you did to that bell, blah, 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 you know? You need to stop doing that because you are not invincible, okay? Young people and rich people think they're invincible. Well, guess what? Your whole life you've been both. Well, guess what? You're not. You get hurt if you keep doing this, you know? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, how many millions of dollars did that bell cost? Because she destroyed the whole building. It wasn't just the bell. She destroyed the whole building, okay? She could have easily killed somebody, hurt somebody, okay? Not just property damage. I mean, like she could have killed somebody, okay? And that conversation will be happening in jail. It wouldn't be happening, you know, in the penthouse, in the multi-million dollar penthouse that they live in downtown Manhattan, in New York, you know? And she's like, okay, well, sorry, Mom, you know, I made a mistake. And by the way, I got another medal to add to my collection, you know. And I'm like, okay. I noticed that she doesn't have a lot of respect for her mom. Now, in the very beginning of the show, it's a flashback to 2012 to Loki's attack in New York, you know, when the Chitauri attacked. And, you know, obviously her father died in that. Her father died in that penthouse, so we think. We didn't see him die, but we're told that he died. And she witnessed Hawkeye. Hawkeye actually shot down one of the Chitauri ships that was about to kill her. So she saw him out there fighting on the rooftop like we saw him in Avengers. And it inspired her to get a bow and arrow, to tell her mom to give me a bow and arrow, you know? I like that beginning because it showed the stakes. It showed her as a little girl, afraid. And, you know, what would you do if you looked outside your window and you saw that? You saw the attack in New York, the Chitauri attack in New York. All the property damage, all the collateral damage. A lot of collateral damage. See, that's the part the Avengers, I mean, you saw it, but you were so focused on the heroes trying to stop the aliens, you didn't really focus too much on the collateral damage, and there was a shitload of collateral damage. So to see that from her point of view was good. I remember Batman versus Superman, the opening scene in that, where Bruce Wayne is in Metropolis, you know, and you see everything from an average person's point of view, all the destruction, you know, the 9/11 type levels of destruction that a superhuman battle takes on people's lives, on property, you know, and it's horrifying. It's horrific, you know. So I like that because they're treating the attack in New York like that was a major thing, and you know that was a very devastating thing, like 9/11 again, you know. Only we're superhumans, and so I love that. So she's definitely inspired. She's got a lot of will, a lot of gumption, but she doesn't act like someone who's anybody who is a master gymnast, who's a master fencer. Like she's a double state champion in fencing, state champion in martial arts. Like she defeats her instructor. Like it shows us that, and archery. Like she trained herself so she never misses. Like Hawkeye, you know. Anybody who has that high of a skill level on all these different forms is going to be someone who's very disciplined. Someone who has trained themselves to be disciplined and focused. Okay? You got to be disciplined and focused to be able to master skills like this. Okay? You have to know how to concentrate and you know how to think clearly and very, very quickly. Okay? In martial arts, in archery, in fencing, you know, these are all combat sports, you know? In gymnastics, okay? You have to, you know, the slightest miscalculation, the slightest distraction or something, you're gonna get hurt or hurt somebody else, you know? So you have to take it very seriously. You have to know how to do that, okay? This character, Haley Steinfeld's portrayal of Kate Bishop is not that character. She's easily distracted. She is very quirky, like a teenage sitcom, you know? Like I said before, like she's doing a Disney Channel show or Nickelodeon show, you know, the ones with the teenagers and stuff, you know, the Josh Drake, iCarly, Montana, McGuire, you know, shit that's out there. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not a teenage girl. I don't watch this shit. Okay, but I know she comes from that background. All right. Okay. I just hope she wasn't sexually molested by Dan Schneider. All right. But anyway, so what do you call it? So she's acting like that. Okay. Later on, we find out that she's 22 years old. So okay, you're not a teenager. You're not 17. You're not 16. Okay, you're a grown ass woman. You're old enough to drink. Okay, you don't live at home. You have your own apartment. So why are you acting like, you know, you're like, you know, nervous about the hot guy at school asking you to the prom? You know, it's like, come on, you know, you're a master of all these things, but you're acting like, you know, like you're like, you know, your monologue, you're talking to yourself, nervous, quirky. I hate that. I hate quirky girls. It's so annoying after a while. It's cool every once in a while, but when every rom-com, every teenage dramedy does it, it's like, it's getting old. Okay, it's getting really old, really fast. It got old a long time ago. But anyway, so she's there. It's obvious that her mom is hiding something. You know, we don't know what it is yet, but you can just kind of tell that her mom isn't really, you know, her mom's the villain. Okay, I'm going to call her right now. There's nothing in the show that told me that. I tell you right now, the mom's the villain. All right, going to be the main villain. All right, so she's very disrespectful to her mom, and what I mean by that is like her mom tells her, okay, we're going to this function tonight, very high class Christmas party function, you know, blah blah blah. I want you to be there. I don't want to go. Well, and you need to be there. It's your duty, you know. Wear a dress, and then she shows up in a suit, like a man's suit, tie, you know, blazer, pants, the whole thing, you know. I guess she's edgy or something. You know, and one of the other characters calls her out, you know, like, hey, you know, that tuxedo you're wearing would look a lot better on me than it does on you, you know, whatever. But she did that for no reason other than to piss her mom off. You know, she's trying to prove that she doesn't like her mom. She's tired of her mom's authority. She's a rebel, you know. Fuck with parents, don't know shit. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm so tired of these rich functions. This isn't me, you know. I feel like a fish out of water. I don't like hanging out with all these rich society people. That's not what I am, but that is what you are. You grew up that way. Okay, you didn't grow up in a gutter. You didn't grow up in a cheap, you know, studio apartment in Harlem. Okay, you grew up in a multi-million-dollar penthouse in downtown Manhattan, you know. And so for her to be so like complaining and just like irritated and just like, what am I gonna do this? Oh, this is so stupid, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to wear a dress. I don't want to go to this stupid party. You know, oh god, mom's dating that guy. She didn't tell me she was dating that guy. I don't like this guy. Blah, blah. He looks like a creep. You know, he's not gonna be my stepfather. You know, she just seems very ungrateful. Okay, ungrateful. You know how many women out there, how many 22-year-old women would love to have a free ride like that? Would love to have inherited, not earned, inherited multi-million dollars, okay? To be able to live in a penthouse on Park Avenue like that? To be able to go to a private school. She goes to an Ivy League, I don't know what it is, but I think it's a fictional school, but it's an Ivy League school, okay? Free ride, okay? She has no fucking problems, okay? Super, super, super fucking rich. The only problem she has in her life is she's like, she tries to find drama when there's no drama because she feels unfulfilled. Okay, it's hard for me to relate to that character. Now you can do that. Like look at Tony Stark. I mean, Tony Stark has got everything, but we can relate to him. You know why? Because he's likable. He's likable. He's funny. Okay, Tony Stark. You take away the Iron Man suit, take away all the supervillains, take away the suit, take away the powers, take away the Avengers team, take away his gadgets, take away all that kind of shit that he has, that he is Iron Man. Take all that stuff away, and what are you left with? You're left with a guy that you would still sit in a bar and talk to for 8 hours. Because the guy is fucking cool. You see what I mean? Iron Man is not the suit. It's the guy in the suit. You see? That's who Iron Man is. Because we don't watch Iron Man because of Iron Man. We watch it because of Tony Stark. Because Tony Stark is a cool guy. Okay, we like Tony Stark. We love Tony Stark. He's funny. He's witty. He loves to make movie references. We love to see what his next nicknames are going to be for other characters. You know, he's got issues. He's got daddy issues out the ass. You know, I think that's probably the biggest hurdle in his life is that he never got to prove himself to his father. You know, so we feel his pain. You know, his ego, his pathos, he's his own worst enemy. Think about it. All the villains that he fought, he created. He created indirectly or directly. He created, he's his own worst enemy, but he's so cool. We like him. We like him because he's trying to be a better person. That's the whole point of Iron Man. He's trying to be a better person. So we can go, he's got flaws, big time. He's an egomaniac. He's a womanizer. He's full of himself. He's a full tilt diva, like he said in Avengers, but he's trying to be better. He's actively trying to be better, and he does get better, but it costs him stuff. He doesn't do it for free, it's not free. He doesn't get a free pass. He has to suffer. He has to lose people. He has to suffer to get what he wants, and it takes his toll, So what I'm trying to say is someone like Iron Man, we like him despite his flaws. This girl, all I see is flaws. I don't see. I mean, everything that we know, all her abilities, we already know she has these abilities. We didn't see her earn them, so it's hard for us to be like, okay, she's already got it. She already knows how to fight. She already knows how to fight with a sword. She already knows how to shoot the arrow, the bow and arrow. She already knows how to do somersaults and gymnastics and all that kind of shit. Scale the walls. She can mountain climb. She scales a building like Spider-Man almost in the beginning. So these are all things that are given. This is before we even meet her. She can already do this stuff. So it's hard for me to okay, let me try to get on that side with her. She needs to show me something. And right now she's showing me that she's ungrateful. She's ungrateful. And she's showing me that she doesn't respect her mom. She's ungrateful with her life. I mean, she doesn't see the seriousness of what she's done. Maybe it's just immaturity, but she is 22 years old. Her mom basically is going to bail her out. That clock tower that went down could have killed somebody. Her mom's just going to write a check for $30 million and get it replaced. Boom, problem solved. She didn't get kicked out of school. She's not suspended. No, she'll go right back to school like it's nothing. See what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. It's like she's not really facing any consequences here. And I don't like her personality. Like I said, the quirkiness, dude. Get rid of the fucking quirkiness, okay? Be serious for a change. Don't be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh God, that's so cool. Okay. I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to be, I'm not trying to be annoying, but if I can just get your number so that we, that's not someone who's focused. That's not someone who takes their who's a master martial artist, a master fencer. That's not someone like that, all right? So there's that. Hawkeye finally shows up. He's there. He sees the Ronin suit. The Ronin is what he was, during Endgame. When his family disappeared, he became this evil, not evil, but ruthless, a ruthless, underworld, like the Punisher. He was just going out there in his Ronin ninja suit, killing criminals left and right. He didn't care because he lost his family. See, his family was what grounded him. His family is what it was all about. Everything he did in the Avengers was for his family. And when he lost his family, he lost his reason for being an Avenger. He lost his reason for being a hero. So he decided that, he was just going to make himself feel better. The only thing he liked more, the only thing he loved his family the most. But after that, he enjoyed defeating villains. So once he lost his family, that's all he had left was the thrill of wiping out villains. He worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. He did a lot of bad things. He was an assassin for S.H.I.E.L.D., like Black Widow. He was supposed to kill Black Widow. He let her go. So the only thing about Clint that he liked, he loved his family the most, but after that, he liked killing bad guys. He liked to do, and that's what he did. And it wasn't until Natasha brought him back in Endgame that he decided, okay, I need to be a hero again. I got to try to be a hero again. Maybe I can get my family back. Maybe, So I like that about him. So he's there with his family and all that. You don't really see his wife too much. She makes a phone call, and then the next thing you know, he puts his kids on a plane, boom, and he goes to helping out the girl because the goal is to get the suit, the Ronin suit. Right? He sees that this girl's wearing it. Kate Bishop's wearing it, and she got it from an underground auction going on. And then you've got the swordsman there from the comic book, Jack Duchesne. That's her new soon-to-be stepfather. And he's making all these jokes, which is like, I read the book on being a step. I'm like, dude, this girl's not 16, okay? She's 22. Okay, you're not going to be raising her, okay? She already has her own place, all right? You're just marrying her mom, all right? She's an only child. So obviously he's going to be the bad guy. She steals a Ronin sword, and somebody kills his uncle. It looks like it's him, but he's too dumb for it to be him. So like I said, I'm pretty sure it's Eleanor Bishop. Kate Bishop's mom is going to be the main bad guy. So Hawkeye is motivated to get the suit back because he knows he made a lot of enemies wearing that Ronin suit, and he doesn't want whoever's wearing the suit. He doesn't want that person to get killed for stuff that he did. So he's got to get the suit back, and then stuff keeps happening to make him stay there longer. It's kind of funny. It is, like when he goes to that Renaissance fair thing, he's got to buy a ticket. He's got to wear the stupid armor. He got to wear this fake sword to get the Ronin suit back. That's all kind of cool and interesting. It's funny, I like to laugh every once in a while. But the problem that I have with this show so far, like I said, I've only watched the first 2 episodes. There's 4 more episodes to go, is that I don't know what the point is. What is the goal of this show? Who's the big bad? I don't know. I'm guessing who the big bad is, but I don't know. What's the point of this show? What are they trying to achieve here? Because so far, the only goal that we've had so far is Hawkeye getting the Ronin suit back, and he got it back already. In the second episode, he gets it back. He locks it up in the locker. That was the whole point. That's the reason he stayed in New York. That's the reason he's been there. So he has no real reason to be there anymore. But we still got 4 more episodes. So what is the goal of the show? Like, what is the ultimate goal? What are they trying to do? Because nothing's on a timetable. There's no sense of urgency here. There's no sense of, we got to do this before that happens, Every other show, like Loki, the Loki show. Okay, what was the point of that show? In the first episode, we find out that there's a Time Variance Authority, that something big is going to happen. There's another Loki out there, worse than this one, and you got to go hunt him down and find out why they're killing all these variants, And by the way, you find out that the Time Variance Authority is kind of shady, so you're like trying to figure them out, and you're on a hunt for this other Loki. Okay, that was the point of the show. Okay, so we're on that mission. WandaVision. Why are Wanda and the Vision living like it's I Love Lucy? What's going on here? Something's going on. Something happened to this town. Wanda did something to this town, and there's other things going on here. Okay, so the goal is, what happened to this town? What happened to Wanda? How are we going to save these people and put everything back? Okay, that's the goal of the show. Falcon the Winter Soldier. You got a terrorist organization out there. Boom, we got to take them down. They all got super soldier serum inside of them. Who are they? Why are they doing this? How can we stop them? And how can we get a new Captain America? That's the point. We learned that in the first episode. That's the point of that show. I don't know what the point of this show is. Because in episode 2, he gets the suit back, the Ronin suit back. And as far as I know, that's the only thing that he was trying to do. He doesn't want to train this kid, Kate Bishop. He likes her, but he doesn't want to train her. He helped her out. He taught her how to, fix her wounds and stuff, you go to CVS and you get some ointment, and some Band-Aids, but they rescue a dog, but none of this is something that's going to, make me want to see more. I don't know what the point is. What does the villain want? I don't know. I don't even know who the villain is. I'm guessing that it's Kate's mom, but I could be wrong. I know definitely that the swordsman is there. You know, Jack Duchesne is there. He's the swordsman, so I know he's going to be a villain, but I don't think he's the mastermind because he's acting kind of dumb. You know, he's acting like he's an idiot. You know, and he's saying stupid things, and a criminal mastermind wouldn't do that unless he was trying to fake it. But I don't see what his play is here. I don't see what he wants. I need to know what he wants first before I know whether he's faking it or not. You know, I don't get it. The only person I see with an evil motive here would be Eleanor. I'm thinking that she killed her husband, Kate's dad, made it look like it was part of the Shatari attack, and for whatever reason, she saved her daughter. But why? Like, what? They didn't lose their penthouse. They were arguing. Her and her husband, before he died in 2012, were arguing about money before the Shatari attack. It's like they're going to have to sell their penthouse, and now they're not. She's still living there now, so they didn't sell it. So they must have come into money. I'm guessing it was his insurance. So she probably killed him. But I don't know. I don't know what the other 4 episodes are going to be about. I know they're trapped right now, but the trailer shows that they get away. I know that the Echo, the deaf hero, a deaf villain, gets revealed. But I don't know what her purpose is. I don't know who she's working for or what she wants. So, that's the only thing I'm worried about. But anyway, so that's going to be it for my review for right now. A lot of questions. I'm going to make another review when episode 3 comes out. And I'm going to come back here and we'll talk about that. Try to put some pieces together. I just wanted to tell you about my love for Hawkeye. I love Hawkeye. I'm excited about this show. I think Jeremy Renner does a really good job playing Hawkeye. And I hope that we see some more of that. I hope we see some more of his pathos. I don't like the fact that they got rid of his family real fast. Like his family was in the first episode, and he puts them on a bus straight to the airport. We're not going to see them again. Okay, like him having a family is part of his life, but he's going to hang out with this kid in New York, this girl in New York, and hopefully not get killed. Okay. I hope we learn more about her, about Kate Bishop. I need to see some weaknesses from her. Okay, because so far I don't see any. Sorry, when you talk to yourself in nervous situations, that's not a weakness. That's not a character flaw. That's just a quirky thing, okay? I need to see her because she's getting punched by guys that are 6'5", 300 pounds, and she's shrugging it off like it's nothing. She's getting injured, but she's not getting hurt. I mean, she's back up and fighting in a couple of minutes, Don't see that. Anyway, like when a Russian grabs her to restrain her, she's just like, boom, 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 he's down. But when Hawkeye grabs to restrain her, she's like, oh God, let me go. I can't get out. It's like, come on, man. You're a 22-year-old girl. What do you weigh? Like 120 pounds? Come on. Anyway. Well, that's enough for my review for right now. And I'm going to review episode 3 after it comes out. And then we'll talk about it then. All right? Bye.